Good day, and welcome back to the Valder Beebe Show. it's a new day, and I've got new guests for you. I've got Dr. Rob Cowell this morning. He's a cardiac electrophysiologist. I'm not sure about that title. And I've got Michaela Davis, a heart disease survivor. Dr. Rob Cowell, welcome, and tell me your title.
It's electrophysiologist. You were super close.
Okay, I will never forget that one.
We purposely make the names hard to, make them special.
That's okay. I'm sure they don't call you, patients don't call you that. They just probably call you Dr. Rob.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Rob and Michaela, thank you once again for being here. Dr. Rob, you're here to talk about a pacemaker that's smaller than a vitamin, they say. We'll get into that in a minute. But first of all, what is a pacemaker, and what are the signs that a patient may need one?
Great question. So a pacemaker is a device that sits in the body and is there to make sure your heart rate is normal, so that your heartbeat is providing what your body needs. And most of the time, if your heart rate is fine, it just sits and does nothing. But if your heart rate gets to a dangerously slow rate, it will pace or stimulate the heart so that it reestablishes that normal heartbeat, whether you're sitting at rest or exercising. And the symptoms patients have when they need a pacemaker can be varied. Anything as simple as feeling a bit sluggish or tired, all the way to having a complete stop of their heart rate, and so they pass out. And you can imagine if you're climbing stairs or driving a car, that can be a really dangerous situation.
Whoa, those are some very dangerous warning signs. I'm going to talk to Michaela first because I think she knows what she learned that she needed a pacemaker. Michaela, how did you find out that you needed a pacemaker?
Yeah, well, it took me many years to find out that I needed a pacemaker, actually. So in high school, I started experiencing some cardiac symptoms like dizziness and heart palpitations, but it took a really long time for me to be diagnosed with a cardiac disease or issue. It wasn't until many years later, about 25 years later, that I had a mini stroke while I was pregnant with my second child. It kind of began more serious cardiac care. And a couple of years after that, my heart stopped for 8 seconds. So I had a complete heart block. And that was the trigger that told me it was time for a pacemaker.
As you've had this experience, what would you say to others who are experiencing somewhat similar conditions, but they don't know what's wrong?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's really important to tune into your body and to listen to your body's cues and really begin to advocate for your own health, not just around your heart, but everything, right? And your family members, really. So just keep pushing, keep learning, understanding your options, but really being an active participant in the decisions that concern your health.
I'm going to ask Dr. Cowell now. Dr. Cowell, she's talked about the pacemaker. Tell us about the world's smallest pacemaker. But first you have to tell us, was it a big pacemaker before it went to the world's smallest?
Yeah, it's a great question. Pacemakers have been around for about 60 years, and they have changed dramatically. So originally, they started about the size of a hockey puck with a device that sat under the skin in the chest and wires that transmitted the electrical impulses down into the heart. And now those devices are about the size of an Oreo cookie, but still with wires. But for about half of patients, they can be eligible for this new leadless device. And what we did there was shrink everything way down another tenfold to the size of a vitamin tablet. And that allows us to place it directly into the heart without the need for a wire, without the need for a scar in the chest or any device sitting under the skin.
So technology has helped the pacemaker. It's everywhere. It's changing everything. So technology helped the pacemaker go from a hockey puck to the size of a vitamin?
Absolutely. It's taken a while, but that's the progress we've made, and we're going to continue to make further progress over time.
Those people, I know you got to be recommended by your doctor for this procedure and all that kind of stuff. But for those people who want to educate themselves and ask the doctor these questions themselves, where do they go?
Yeah, so we have a lot of information at our website, medtronic.com/Micra, M-I-C-R-A. That's the name of the leadless pacemaker. And there's a lot of information about the benefits one can get from a pacemaker, but also the risks. like any medical therapy, there are positives and negatives. And that's why it's so important to work with your doctor to make sure that the symptoms you have can be benefited by a pacemaker and that you're getting the right device or the right therapy that you need.
Dr. Kyle, you cardiac electrophysiologist, thank you so much for being here. And Michaela Davis, I'm so glad you're a survivor to talk to my audience. I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a great year.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
You too.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.